Is the Mets signing almost every single Yankee free agent almost immediately weird?
Yes.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network in the country. I'm Stacey Gotsulias. He's Brian McKeon. We're lifelong Yankee fans, although my life is a bit longer than Brian's. We've been hosting the show together for 2 full seasons. This is our second offseason together, right? Because you started at the beginning of the 2024 season.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get to experience your second offseason with Locked On Yankees. And speaking of Locked On Yankees, we'd like to thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Today's show is Fanmail Friday. If you're new to the show, we do this every single week. Our everydayers, our insiders, our regulars, they love Fan Mail Friday. It makes them feel like we're family and friends just commiserating about the Yankees. So we answer your burning questions every Friday. But before we get to those questions, let's discuss the news of Luke Weaver going to the Mets. Because of course Luke Weaver would go to the Mets. Everyone seems to be going to the Mets.
Yeah, exactly. It has become strange to say the least with what's going on. I do want to say, I know it's Fan Mail Friday, and generally the way that we do Fan Mail Friday is Betty gets to ask the first question. But I feel like the only people who might have a right to a question over Betty is one of the hosts. So I have a question as one of the hosts for you on Fan Mail Friday. Not trying to go over Betty's head right here, but I think as one of the hosts of the show, I can ask one before Betty. Are you good at calling things out when they're generally weird? Like when the general public finds things weird, are you good at being like, hey, that's weird and I've got a good radar for this?
Yes.
Is the Mets signing almost every single Yankee free agent almost immediately weird?
Yes. It is weird.
Yeah, I think it's gotten to the point where it's a little strange at this point. Like, this is like 5 guys on the Mets current roster.
Like, this isn't,
including a coach.
Right. And it isn't, there have been like 100 players that have played for both teams, more than that, probably more than 150. But it's just in the last year. How many?
Strange.
It's odd. And I know Juan Soto wasn't a lifetime Yankee. Clay Holmes wasn't a lifetime Yankee. Devin Williams wasn't a lifetime Yankee. Luke Weaver wasn't a lifetime Yankee. It's just odd that in this quick succession of time, these guys have gone from the Yankees to the Mets.
I don't take offense to the Juan Soto thing. Like, no. I get it. He's a generational talent. Why would the Mets not go after him?
And he wanted more money and he took it. That's fine.
Yeah, but like letting Edwin Diaz walk and trading that for 2 guys that the Yankees needed to bolster their bullpen at the deadline last year because they weren't performing last year seems strange. Like, the Mets are quick, by the way, because they're one of the only teams that have signed guys this offseason so far. Quick to bring in Devin Williams, quick to bring in Luke Weaver. Devin Williams and Luke Weaver not performing was the reason the Yankees needed to bolster the bullpen at the deadline and get David Bednar.
And the reason why they lost the division.
Yeah, so I really don't understand the rush out of the Mets to go get, like, Bellinger, I'll understand, awesome player, and like I don't consider him a lifelong Yankee either. But the other one, the Clay Holmes move is weird. Mendoza, I get, sure, he was an up-and-coming manager, but like all these moves, it's getting a little strange.
It is.
It just is. I don't get it. And it's not the other way around. It's not Mets. The Yankees aren't going after Met players. It's only the Mets that are going after Yankee players. It's very odd.
Yeah, it is. You mentioned Bednar. Yeah. Oh, no. Good for him. I mean, after the year he had in 2025, for him to get 2 years, $22 million.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been comfortable with that. So good for him.
No. Yeah, he jumped at that. He's like, I don't think the Yankees are going to match this.
And they weren't. There's no chance they were. They were not paying $11 million. I think they would have been comfortable at a figure of like $6 to $8 million, but I don't think they were going over like 8.5 per year. Right. And I don't think they were going over 2 years either.
Right. And you mentioned David Bednar. He joins Team USA for the WBC. So does Tarek Skubal. Team USA is becoming loaded.
Logan Webb is another one that was added about 20 minutes before we started recording this. It has become a loaded roster. I am very excited for the World Baseball Classic.
I'm actually excited about it now.
I don't think people are getting that excited about it like publicly yet, but I'm on the train for it. Like because I think we're gonna get to the point once the new year turns where it's like, all right, get me baseball.
Yes.
And the World Baseball Classic is gonna feel really, really exciting.
Yes. All right. Well, we already mentioned it, but it's Fan Mail Friday. And every Friday we answer your questions. And every Friday we start with our Locked On Yankees insiders. And we always start with Betty. This is a 3-season tradition now. So we can't not start with Betty. It would be
unless
very
me or
odd.
you has a question.
Right. We're the only ones who supersede Betty, but no one else does.
Exactly.
So here is Betty's question. Do you agree that if they don't make a significant deal soon, there's no chance to win the World Series in 2026? With a 2027 lockout looming, that would probably mean Judge will never get a ring. She put a sad emoji with a crying tear. And who's going to Queens next? All I want for Christmas for it to be Boone to go to Queens. And actually, she's not the only person in Fan Mail Friday to say that. There's one coming up later, too. On a more cheerful note, what is your favorite Christmas cookie? Mine is the peanut butter Hershey Kiss cookie. I don't even know what that is, but that sounds good.
I'm not a sweets guy, but that sounds awesome. I love peanut butter, so that does sound really, really good. And peanut butter and chocolate, one of the best combinations that's ever been invented. Yeah. I don't think this offseason relates to them winning a championship anytime soon. They can obviously improve those stakes this offseason, but there's time to make deals during the season. There's time to make deals during the trade deadline. Like, I don't think it stops them from getting a World Series necessarily. So I wouldn't
not
say
everything hinges on what they're doing in the offseason, because there's so many ways that they can.
Yeah, and you can't rush to things in the offseason either. Like I do feel like Yankee Nation is getting a little impatient when it comes to signing somebody and getting a move done, especially when you see the Mets making moves. Like, you start to get a little antsy.
The Blue Jays.
Yeah, but I wouldn't get
the Orioles
yet. Yeah. Yeah. The fear that I have, the next Yankee going to Queens, and I think it's probably the only one that'll wind up there this year, is Bellinger. And we've said this a million times. If the Mets want Cody Bellinger, they're getting Cody Bellinger. I really think it comes down to that. They're going to outbid the Yankees. I think it's something in Steve Cohen's head where he wants to succeed with players the Yankees couldn't succeed with. I think that is in his head, like it's in a lot of heads of Mets fans. They view it as a competition of a New York kind of thing, and I think he desperately wants to succeed with players the Yankees, quote unquote, couldn't succeed with.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. Cookie wise, I don't know. I'm not a cookie person, other than
I'm not a sweets guy. Like, honestly, like it's so weird.
Yeah, I'm not really a cookie person either.
You do pies on Christmas? I know that's more of like a Thanksgiving fall thing, but are you a pie family?
Yeah, we're more of a pie family, like apple pie, pumpkin pie. That's basically it. I would love to do like chocolate cream pie because I love that. And
pumpkin pie is usually my go-to.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing. I have a pumpkin tattoo, not cause of it, but partially cause of it. Pumpkin flavored things are the best. Yeah. Let's go to Matt V. Matt V says, what's a worst emotion for Devin Williams? Yankee closer to Yankee setup man, or Yankee setup man to Met closer? We got a Mets hater in this chat already.
I don't think that's such emotion going to the Mets.
He got paid pretty handsomely too. Let's not ignore that.
Yeah. I would think going from closer to setup man, right? Because you got traded to be the closer.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get demoted to setup man because you can't handle being the closer. I think that would be worse, especially on the Yankees. You know what I mean?
He said all the right things when the demotion did happen, but I agree with you. Like, that's got to be like an automatic demotion, especially going into a free agent year where he was expecting to sign a long-term deal and never really got that deal. Now, I will say this. The closer market has been very healthy. Like, guys are getting paid and they're getting contracts. They're not getting term. Like, none of these closers are getting years. They're like the largest amount of years I think is Diaz and Suarez, who got 3. No one's getting like that mega multi-year contract. Like, they're not giving anyone 6-year deals out there. So I would note that too. Guys are getting 3-year deals, which is kind of like a 2-year deal. So it is a little wild.
All right, our last question of segment 1 from Gary. I'm seeing rumblings that the Yankees are aggressively pursuing Imai and Belly, willing to go over the budget to do so. If we get lucky enough to get both, what are 1 or 2 smaller moves you'd like to see that wouldn't push the budget crazy higher?
It's got to be a couple of bullpen arms. I mean, even though bullpen guys are getting paid, it's It's we've said this throughout the offseason, and I still hold on to this. They're going to bring in some bullpen arms that you likely have never heard of before. That they are, and they're going to be Matt Blake projects.
They already have. There are a couple of lower level guys that they brought in.
And
already.
They're going to be, Matt Blake has studied these guys, loves their spin rate, loves their stuff, thinks he can do more with them through the Yankees technology and film they have. And you know what? You got to trust Matt Blake at this point. He has done enough to earn that respect where he deserves the respect and the trust that he's going to be able to fix these guys and figure these guys out. So he's done it with enough relievers at this point. He's done it with enough starters. I think I trust that system more than I trust them going out and spending money. A lot of the big relievers are gone at this point. And again, they're not going to be, and I think they don't need to play in the grounds of paying these guys a lot of money. They're just not going to do it. Last year, what did Luke Weaver get? Like 3.8 million, if I'm not mistaken, or 4.5, something in that range. They're not paying these guys crazy money unless it's an elite level arm. Like I think whenever Bednar's up, I think it's in 2 off seasons. If Bednar puts up 2 outstanding seasons in a row, they'll gladly give him the $22 million a year that he's going to get. I don't think, like they did it with Chapman. They made him the highest paid closer in baseball. Like, I don't think they're afraid of doing it when it's a guy that's proven year after year to be elite. They're not doing it for arms they don't fully trust, and that they showed it with Weaver and Williams this year.
Yeah. Speaking of lower level guys or guys who did better for the Yankees when they were with Scranton, even though they are MLB caliber players, Alan Winans going to Japan. Yankees are letting him go to Japan. So, hey,
speaking of a guy that went overseas and improved himself, we'll talk about it later. There's another former Yankee great that improved himself after going overseas.
Yep. I wasn't expecting to see his name in the news. So there's a tease for you for segment 3. But coming up next in segment 2, we're answering more of your Fan Mail Friday questions.
What's up, guys? The World Cup is heading back to North America for the first time since 1994. And with 48 teams, it's going to be massive. But let's be honest, getting tickets can be the most difficult part sometimes. That's why Game Time comes in super clutch. It finally gives fans a real advantage when it comes to snagging those seats. With Game Time, you can track price drops in real time, get alerts when great seats open up, and you can buy tickets the moment they hit the app. Plus, it puts the power back in your hands and makes going to the World Cup a realistic possibility instead of impossible. Here's what you got to do. Pull up the app, and the layout makes it super simple to scroll through matchups and compare the seat views. Then you pick a game, tap a section, and have your tickets locked in within minutes. There's no confusion and no hunting through the fine print. So take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets and every match, concert, or event with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code Locked on MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app, make an account, and use code Locked on MLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Game Time. We want to thank you guys for making Locked On Yankees your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network in the nation. You already live your team every single day. Now take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Yankees with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more, all for just $5 a month or $50 for the year. Go to lockedonyankees.supercast.com or check out that link in our show notes to learn more. Plus, there's that little QR code in the top right corner of your screen. Open up that camera app, take a picture. It'll drag you right over that website where you can get involved in the Everydayer Club. And plus, trust me, guys, it is absolutely worth it. Sean asks, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. If you could only sign one, who would you prefer? Cody Bellinger, Tatsuya Amai, or Fernando Tatis Jr.? Hopefully Steinbrenner loosens the purse strings and we can get more than one. I really believe they can't miss out on Bellinger.
Ooh, I don't.
This might be bold, but I got an opinion here.
I'm torn between Amai and Tatis over Bellinger.
It's Tatis to me. Like I don't think it's Tatis. Like if I agree, like I don't hate your opinion, Sean. Like I agree. I think Bellinger is because I don't think Tatis is as realistic as like I'm hoping it is.
Right.
But Bellinger is a must because that's an actual realistic thing and it's only going to take money. But if there's a guy that I want to see in that lineup on opening day more than anyone, it's Tatis. Like I think he's a game changer. I think he's more consistently a game changer than Bellinger's been throughout their careers. Platinum glove defender. And this is not a knock on Cody Bellinger.
No.
I just think for the price that you're going to get Bellinger, I think likely Stacey is going to sign somewhere in like that $32 million per year range. And Tatis is at 25. Like, I really like for the production you're getting and for that platinum glove level fielding aspect. I really think if there is a possibility of getting Tatis, you have to do it, and almost at whatever cost it takes. Not saying plummet your entire farm system, but it's going to cost a pretty penny, and I think it's worth it. I really do. I don't know how you feel. It's easy to not have that opinion about Amai just because we haven't seen him like live yet.
Right.
But
right.
I don't know how you feel about this. I think it's Tatis.
Yeah, I would think out of those three, it's Tatis. Yeah,
he's a generational talent. Like, you're talking about a future Hall of Famer here. And it's not a knock on Bellinger, but like 32, it's gonna be 32 right now, and it can only go up from there. So the Bellinger stuff's gotten out of control.
All right, our last insider question comes from Malachi, but it actually has to do with his brother. It says, Duncan wants to tell you that we have Christmas presents under our tree and ask if you like the snow. He likes playing in the snow.
I'm glad Duncan got involved in the questions. You know what's funny, Malachi? I hate to burst your bubble here. You start to like the snow a lot less the older you get.
Unless you're me and you don't drive or use a car, then you don't care.
Yeah. Oh, do you shovel?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind shoveling. I look at it as exercise.
Okay, that is a rare opinion from someone, but there it is. If you can view it as exercise and fun, then you will love shoveling, Malachi. If you grow older and your parents, as a male in the house, send you outside to shovel, you will not like shoveling. I can almost guarantee that. I am the only son in my family, so I grew up shoveling a lot as a kid, and I still do it now, and I don't enjoy snow.
Yeah, I didn't. So yeah,
I root against the snow. You have a brother, and your father was around, so like I'm sure took care of the shoveling.
The only time I shoveled was when our front lawn is kind of a hill, but across the front of our house because we're on a corner. So people would sled down our hill. And the only time I would shovel is if I was building the pile at the edge of our driveway higher so we could fly over the driveway as we were going. We had so much fun in the snow as kids. There was one year, 1983, there was a really big snowstorm. And we built tunnels from each mailbox down the street.
Wow.
And then our court is not a circle, it's a T. So the plows would put piles at each end of the T, and we would turn each pile into a snow fort and have snowball fights across. And we would build compartments for our snowballs and seats like we were in the Millennium Falcon.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I grew up with a bunch of boys, so I did a lot of boy stuff when I was younger in the snow. Couldn't help it.
Yeah, no. My sister would come outside here and there, to play in the snow and pretend to shovel for 15 seconds and then give up. But shoveling gets once you start to get to that age where you're forced to shovel.
It's a guy thing.
It gets old, especially driving. Driving gets because even if you're a good driver in the snow, people get really dumb in the snow. So it becomes a very difficult task. So
yeah, that's why I'm glad I have an eye that doesn't work and I can't drive. So it helps me out. Yeah,
there you go. Yep. That'll do it for our insider questions for this edition of Fanmail Friday. Make sure you guys get involved next Friday. To our YouTube questions, though, when we started off with Casey Cotreau, he says, if you could work for the Yankees, what job do you see yourself doing within the organization?
I'd probably be doing like social media.
Pre and post, right?
I want to be one of the people, like especially in spring training, that gets to ask them silly questions. And I want them to...
You'd be good at that, yeah.
Yeah, like I want them to cower in fear when they see me as they're walking into the spring training facility because they think to themselves, oh no, what's Stacey going to ask us now?
I find more value in the interviews with those guys in the offseason where they ask the goofy questions as opposed to like the serious baseball stuff that they already have like pre-programmed of what they're going to say.
Yeah.
What have you done for preparation this year?
Yeah,
I hit on the tee. I watched some film. I ate.
Like, what was your favorite cereal as a kid? I love, and they're ooh, that's a good question. Yeah,
yeah. Like, what's the uniform? Like, what is your what uniform sleeves you're going to use this year? Any change to the cleats? Like that. I like that stuff way more than I like the basic generic baseball question.
Yeah.
Those are always exciting to me.
Next up, we have Colin Martin, 69. Brian / Stacey. We all know the Mets love signing former Yankees. As esteemed members of the media, can you speak it into existence that the Queens Yankees take Aaron Buffoon, his word, not mine, off our hands? Happy holidays. Love the show.
It ain't gonna happen. I would love it though. And I will say this: if the Yankees let go of Boone, I think there's a really good chance the Mets would want to bring him in, because if Cohen's got this thing where he loves winning, like trying to win with guys the Yankees couldn't do it with, oh boy, he'd be itching to get Aaron Boone in there to try and win a World Series with Aaron Boone, and when the Yankees couldn't. Like, he'd be itching for it. Now, I don't think the Yankees aren't getting rid of Boone anytime soon, but like, if that was if he could go to Queens, I'd send him there immediately. I'd give the Mets a first-round pick with it. Get him out. So I'm cool with it. I don't think it's happening.
No.
Let's hear from Paulie G, the last question of Fanmail Friday for the week. He says, I believe that I've seen the future of Major League pitching strategy. It came to me when thinking about pitchers now only effectively seeming to pitch 5 innings or so. I think a time will come when at least some teams will have 10 starting pitchers, and on each day they'll start 2 of them. Preferably one left-handed and one right-handed, and if possible, let the harder thrower pitch the second half. There'd still be room on the roster for 5 relief pitchers in case of a dire situation like blowouts, but a closer might not even be needed. Right now, you can only have to rely on 3 to 4 pitchers all having a good night on the same night, every night. I know that's not a question, so here it is. Can you poke holes in that concept, or have I come up with something ingenious? By the way, I'm with you. Got to get Tatis Jr., give up the farm. They never pay out anyway, other than Judge. Thanks, Paulie G. Thank you for the Tatis thing. I think your Major League pitching strategy thing is crazy. You ever drink a lot and go to bed and have a really lucid dream where it's just this wild dream where you're doing something crazy, you're playing a scene in Die Hard, it makes no sense at all, but that's the kind of dream that you have. I feel like that's what Paulie G did that night before going to bed. He wound up having a really lucid dream about pit teams holding 2 starters per game, having one guy come in the 5th and finish out the game. Yeah, I don't think this is the future.
No, I don't think so either.
I know the Dodgers developed a strategy where they're signing as many starters as possible.
Right. It seems like it could go that way with the Dodgers, but
they're looking at it as the Dodgers look at it as can't have too much depth at starter. But I don't think it's we're going to sign 10 guys and use 2 in each game.
Right. I mean, that would be something.
Sorry to burst your bubble there, Paulie.
Yeah, that would be an interesting turn of events, but I think pure baseball fans would have they already have a problem with openers and bullpen games. And could you imagine John Smoltz covering a game?
Oh, he
this?
quit.
Yeah, he quit on the spot if a team did that. Yeah. All right, coming up next, we have some news from around the league. And as Brian alluded to earlier, a former Yankee is part of this news from around the league. So we'll talk about it all next.
NFL Sundays can move fast, and one big play, suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. Now with FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting makes the game awesome when it starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, defenses tighten up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment whenever you want. Live spreads and money lines, those things adjust instantly throughout the game, play by play. You can even bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. Keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. Go over to that European soccer market I was talking about. You guys getting involved in the World Cup tickets in the last read. Get involved. Manchester City this weekend. Love them on the money line or the spread. Great bet, in my opinion. And if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. There are some weeks when I absolutely love doing news of the week because we get some ridiculous stories and some wild stories and then some friendly reminders of that guy still is around. Please inform me about who signed to play back in the States.
Yeah, so this was interesting, and it actually comes on the heels of a post that I saw in the Everydayers Discord from a Cubs fan who was begging for the Cubs to make a move. Now, I don't think this is the move that he wanted them to make, but first baseman Tyler Austin and the Chicago Cubs are in agreement on a 1-year major league deal. This is from Jeff Passan. Tyler Austin, 34, because he's 34 now.
Ouch.
A former top Yankees prospect has been a star over in Japan for half a decade. So he's going to bring his 393, 377, 568 batting line from the Yokohama Bay Stars over to the Chicago Cubs.
Wow. I mean, I forgot this guy's name.
Yeah.
Like, this became one of those guys where you were like, former Yankee great, Tyler Austin, who was this guy was called up on the same day as Aaron Judge in 2016. Remember that game?
They went back to back.
Both homered back to back in their first career at bats. Wow. Like, I can't believe that he's back. Like, and also, if you were playing that well in Japan, I feel like there's like a benefit to staying in Japan.
Yeah, like, why would you leave? I would stay there. I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
You know who did this, like, on the NBA circuit? Remember Stephon Marbury?
Oh yeah,
the New York Knicks. Like, he went over to China and became a legend over there. Like, they have multiple statues of him across the country. That's how big of a deal he is in
Starbury.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're Tyler Austin and you're playing that well in Japan, dude, just stay.
Yeah.
Like, they'll build statues of you. Like, I would have just stayed there. But he wants to be back in the major leagues. He's 34 years old, going to the friendly confines. Good for him.
Yeah. So this next item, you had mentioned this in segment 1 about how relievers are getting shorter contracts, but apparently the Atlanta Braves made a 5-year offer to Edwin Diaz.
So is he showing loyalty to the Mets to not go to a division rival, or
no? He wants to win, so he went to the Dodgers.
Interesting. But you would think that would contribute to him going to the Braves too, because the Braves always beat the Mets.
True, but the Dodgers are the ones who are back-to-back title holders, and if things go well, they could go back-to-back. So
I got a different theory. I think the Braves offered him 5 years to match the dollar figure total, but the AAV wasn't getting close.
Yeah, I didn't see the parameters.
Neither did I.
Yeah,
but to me, that's what this means. That they probably offered him the $69 million that the Dodgers gave him. They probably gave him the $69 million over 5 years, and the Dodgers gave it him over 3, and he took the AAV. Yeah. That's probably what it is to me, because 5 years is. But that I think the longest one that anyone got was what Suarez got with the Braves. He got 3 years, and I don't think anyone's gone over 3 years yet, reliever wise. And if Diaz is going to get 3 in the max, there's no way anyone else is getting more than that. So that's it. I believe it, but I think that their dollar value is probably lower, and they settled for Suarez at 3 years in that price.
Yeah,
which isn't crazy. Give it to them, but they got Suarez on a good deal. But that Diaz contract is. Give it to the Dodgers with all the signings they did last offseason to bring in relievers, right? They brought in Kirby Yates and Tanner Scott, like 2 of the top relievers in the market they brought in. And Stacey, they were both awful last year. They still won the World Series. Yeah. Now you have Yates and Scott coming back, by the way, which, like, you got to think, relievers are very finicky, right? Like, they have great years.
They can have horrible years and then good years. Yeah.
Watch Yates and Scott have great years this year. Like, just find their stuff again. And Blake Trinan. Watch those guys have great years again, and then Diaz is on the back end. And this bullpen could be historically great.
Yeah, and speaking of bullpen moves, because that seems to be the theme, the Reds signed old friend Caleb Ferguson to a 1-year, $4.5 million deal.
Does it feel expensive? $4.5 million?
Sort of.
It does, for Caleb Ferguson.
For Caleb Ferguson, yeah.
We've gotten to that point, though, where, like, a lot of teams are willing to pay, and, like, when it gets to the lower end of bullpen arms,
it's the Reds, too.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, if you want a guy to go to Cincinnati to be in a lower end bullpen arm, like, you're gonna have to pay him.
And he's only 29. He has time to turn things around and get back to where he was before he came over to the Yankees, because he was perfectly fine. And then,
yeah, good for him. That's a nice deal. The Reds have tried to be involved with players this year. I mean, they were involved in the Schwarber stuff, so they're trying to spend money. It's more than the Pirates can ask for. The Pirates offered one contract, and we're like, guess we're done.
Yeah, it's like they really should put up a banner that says we tried.
Yeah,
because that's all they want people to, like, we made an offer. We tried to do something. You can't say that we're not trying to spend, even though.
Yes or no question to close out the week.
Okay.
Is it as important to the Pittsburgh Pirates that Kyle Schwarber got the offer as it is that the report came out that they gave him an offer?
Right. Oh yeah.
Like, I think it's very important to Pirates PR that the report came out public.
Yeah,
it was made public that they made an offer that was over $100 million.
Yep, because they want people to know we tried.
Yeah, he didn't want to come here.
Yeah,
we gave him a contract.
Yeah,
he didn't want to come here.
Look at all the money we offered him, and he said no.
We offered him a ton of money.
Yeah,
he didn't want to come here.
What more do you want from us?
That's exactly what they did. And they were, after that contract came out, the owner was begging him not to take it.
Oh yeah, he's probably sitting there going, "Oh, God, please,
please don't take this. Please don't take this deal."
Because he's thinking to himself, "Oh man, there's no takebacks. I can't put this out there." And then
here's the thing too. Clearly there's a separation of these guys, they want to get paid, obviously, and they also want to win. That was the Schwarber thing, right? Schwarber wanted to get paid, and the Phillies matched the top offer, but also he wanted to win, and that's his best chance is Philadelphia. So I get the two.
Yeah.
If you're the Pirates, why would you not try to appease all the rest of the fan bases that call you cheap? Just offer these guys contracts. They're not going to sign it anyway.
Right. No one's going to sign with you.
go a little less than what market value is. So he's not going to sign the deal because he's going to take the highest offer, and he knows you're not going to win. So just do that. At least no one can call you cheap. But you could say, "Hey, we offered the deal. He didn't want to take it, but we were involved." The Pirates can say they were involved. They offered $100 million deal. Yankees haven't done that yet. 3
years from now, they're gonna be like, "Remember when we offered Kyle Schwarber
were in the sweepstakes.
that much money?
We were in the sweepstakes. He didn't say yes, but we were close. We were in the final five."
We'll have to have a discussion about. I mean, we've had numerous discussions about this, but we have new subscribers. Again, we hit 10,500 on YouTube. Thank you for that. That's fantastic.
And the audio numbers too. Thank you for the audio numbers are great.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. So we have new viewers and listeners. So maybe we can have this conversation again about how annoying it is that some of these fan bases have no hope. They have no hope of anything when the season starts. And it's so frustrating.
It's in part their fault because they go.
Well, yeah.
Stop going.
I guess when you love baseball, I guess. I mean, I loved going to see the Yankees in the 80s. I didn't care that they didn't win World Series, but I was also a kid and dumb, so I didn't know any better. And then when you get older and you realize, all right, it would be a lot more fun if I'm watching, because I watched all these other teams win the World Series, including the Mets, while I was growing up. And, I began to, as I got older, think to myself, I'd much rather be watching the Yankees in the World Series than these other teams winning,
I have a bold opinion here.
Oh,
one more before the show ends.
Okay.
I think the 3 best decisions the Pirates have made since the turn of the century. We're talking 25 years now. Drafting Garrett Cole, drafting Paul Skeens, and building PNC Park.
Yeah.
That's it. Not nothing else. Maybe signing McCutchen. Everything else has just been fodder. The only reason those fans are going to those games is because of the ballpark.
Right.
To watch a Paul Skeens start or go to the ballpark because it's a beautiful park and the views are incredible. That's it.
Right, because it's been 46 years since they won the World Series. So it's closer to 50 years than it is to 40 years since they won.
And unless they trade him, Skeens is gone.
Yeah.
He's as good as gone. They're going to trade him or he's going to sign somewhere else. They're not going to compete in those waters.
Right.
Because if we're hearing these preemptive numbers of Skubal, what the heck is Paul Skeens getting?
I know.
I mean, come on.
Glad I don't have to make those decisions.
Crazy stuff. It really is.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to today's Locked On Yankees. Next week is Christmas. Maybe we should do a naughty or nice segment next week.
You don't want to know about me.
I think that could be funny. So make sure you subscribe and follow Locked On Yankees so you get all the latest updates. Make sure you follow us on on Instagram at Locked On Yankees, all one word. Trying to update more there. Got into a little something with someone on Instagram because they didn't understand the video I put up on Wednesday. It happens. And one more thing before we go. Did Locked On Yankees make your Spotify Wrapped? Prove it on social media to secure a free month of our brand new Everydayer Club. Just tag our national Locked On Podcast Network account on any social platform, and we will drop you a code. Be one of the first to join the Everydayer Club to get your favorite show, Locked On Yankees, ad-free, and exclusive access to the members-only Discord channel. It's fun. I've already looked at it. You can trash talk fans of other teams and even the hosts of the other shows, which could be a lot of fun. Just keep it nice trash talk. So for those of you on video, we send you to the first ever 24/7 national Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On MLB with Sully. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys next week.